Welcome to episode 151 of Outside the Circle, a podcast dedicated to new and upcoming country artists, musicians, and songwriters. Today's guest will be Ana Cristina Cash. We'll get to her in a little bit, but first, I'm Ronnie, and here's Brian.
Yeah, man. 151. It's cool that it's we're coming out of a pretty landmark of an episode at 150 to a circle back. So I'm excited about this one. And Anna's always fun to catch up with, and part of such a, I don't know, legacy family of country music. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, man, otherwise same old here. It's I'm excited that we hit 150 and we're just still rolling.
Yeah, you kind of hinted at it. So this is technically our fourth Circle Back session episode. We were saying before we jumped on that it's weird that it's only number four. We feel like we've talked to so many people so many different times, but looking back, we've always had two or three guests come back each one. So this one is only Ana Cristina Cash, but I think going forward, we should make it like a quarterly thing. We should make sure we get more of these in and more consistent because not to take away from her, but there's been a lot of good stuff happening from some early on guests. So yeah, but like you said, we talked to her in November of 2020 for episode 28. So to think 28 to 151 has been quite a journey, quite a few years, quite a an experience, I guess we could say. But yeah, it's wild. It's been a fun ride.
Nah, man, that's cool. And I'm excited for it. But yeah, let's just dive into it.
We are so excited to welcome back our episode 28 guest, Ana Cristina Cash. Welcome back to the show. How have you been? How's life post COVID?
Great to see you guys and in a not COVID setting. Last time I saw you guys was 2020, he said. So it's
Yeah.
pretty wild.
November 2020 was the last time we
November
talked. So
2020.
yes.
So life has definitely been better since then, luckily. So I'm assuming for yourselves as well, like because now we're free in the world and it's amazing. We don't have to hide from everyone anymore.
Yeah, no, it's wild, man. When we think back to like when we started the podcast and everything, and I mean, episode 28, we were brand new. like we were just figuring out what was going on. And yeah, to see, one, the growth that has happened, and both us here at the podcast and then also like in the world in the last 4 or 5 years been wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I was telling you a little earlier, I have two kids now. Like when you interviewed me, I only had my daughter and she was a toddler back then. She's now 7. Grace is 7, and my son James is 3, turning 4 in July. And yeah, it's crazy like juggling parenthood and a career and like all the classes they have after, like the coordination, the sign up genius for like the treats and for all like the holidays and all of that. And then just, it's wild. You have to be really well balanced and you have to organize yourself. That's kind of what I've been trying to do to survive. So
Yeah. You two are definitely the I'm going to say the experts in the parenting world here on the podcast, but myself over the last 9 months or so, I I guess we could call I have a bonus daughter, a bonus 3-year-old now. So,
amazing.
so that's been I skipped the newborn stage, I guess, but the like you're saying, the juggling of planning and all of that, it's yeah, I mean it's fitting that we're recording this right after Mother's Day because it doesn't go unnoticed that there's some wild stuff that happens in the parenthood world.
For sure. Absolutely. Well, congratulations to you as well. I actually have 3 stepchildren. So I have my son and my daughter, and I have 3 stepchildren. So I kind of, came into the relationship with my husband, with him having older children as well. So I understand,
Yeah. No,
for
it's
sure.
it's awesome and it's been fun. But
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So yeah, let's November 2020. We kind of I believe we were just on the cusp of your album Shine coming out. So,
Yes.
kind of since then, few singles. You mentioned raising kids. That definitely takes a good chunk of your time there. Um, we'll definitely get into the new stuff shortly, but I wanted to kind of piggyback off. I was listening to our first episode this morning, and I was thinking about, we talked about songwriting a lot, and one of the things that I noticed, we didn't really dive into the bilingual side of it. I know you've released music both in English and in Spanish. We didn't really talk about the same songs being released in both, which is what's kind of
Yeah.
happening now.
Yes.
So I'm kind of curious about that whole process, especially like, when you're writing in one or the other language, like getting that to translate both like the emotion of the song, the feeling of the song, kind of how is that process for you, especially with these new songs that are just coming out?
Well, it's pretty wild because it's like I've always like you mentioned, I've either made a Spanish record that's like completely Spanish or an English record. This is kind of the first time I'm kind of doing like identifying singles that are country songs in English and doing like Spanish or Spanglish versions of them. So the way we deal with that is if something can be translated completely in Spanish, we translate it. But if there's a word that you just, or a phrase you can't get around, like cheap margaritas, for example, is the single I'm promoting now is the only track on the whole album that I didn't write. After I finished writing songs on my own and collaborating with other writers, the co-producer of my record, along with my husband, John Carter Cash, Willie Breeding, he brought the song to me. He co-wrote that with Erica Ender, Jess Kane, and Frank Ray. And he's like, I think this will fit really nicely on your record if you wanna cut it. So I heard it and I thought it was just like so fun, so flirtatious, so everything. But Erica Ender, who wrote the global hit Despacito, she did the Spanglish, excuse me, adaptation. So to answer your question for that one specifically, in the one that I'm promoting now, there was no way around the word cheap margaritas to make it sound poetic. So it's like Spanish, 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 cheap margaritas, Spanish, 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 cheap margaritas. So it's a Spanglish version, but it works really well. And like a lot of things different artists have released in the past, like you think about the Latin boom, as they called it in the early 2000s, of like, Ricky Martin, Shakira, Mark Anthony, this is not anything that's new right now. Like this was like, there was a huge boom of this stuff in the early 2000s with those artists, with Jennifer, with Mark, with Shakira, with Ricky, but now we're seeing it in the country world. So that was the kind of the business model, I guess, or the artistic model. I hate to say business, it's all artistic, right? But that was kind of the goal. But we want to stay true to it. And a lot of the singles, if we were able to get it all in Spanish, we're able to get it all in Spanish. So my last single, Last Call, I wrote with Willie Breeding, with Jody Marr, and those two. And Jody and I did the Spanish adaptation. And we had to go back and forth and really look at the lyrics because it's what rhymes, what makes sense, what fits, what's not cheesy in the other language that you're translating to. And now, like even progressing past this, the songs on EP1 that I'm going to release, I'm starting to look at the translations for EP2 for the full album, so that I didn't realize it'd be double the work. I love working, but it is because you have to do all your leads again. The engineer has to do the comping, the mixing, all the stuff, all your backgrounds again. And then if you're shooting any sort of video, you are doing the playback like with multicam or whatever twice, so now as I'm actually like going through the motions of all of this, I'm realizing all that it entails, and it's super rewarding. Like I don't complain about work. I love working, but it is an extra layer of something extra that I would not have had to do, but I think it's worth it to connect to more people. So that's kind of the purpose of that.
I think that's cool. I didn't think about it either. If you're not like directly translating, because obviously in the Spanish, world, like the same words aren't going to rhyme the same that, the American words do or English words do. And so, yeah, that is a definitely, so will you change the lyrics then in the Spanish to fit to make it work in that?
So something was recorded first in Spanish, you mean, and then the to adapt to English?
Either way. So if you originally sang it in English, are you changing the lyrics in the Spanish just so that they rhyme better in the rhyme scheme, or?
Well, sometimes if you do a literal translation, it's pretty cheesy. So what you'll want to do is find other words that mean the same thing or the same feeling, or let's say, for example, in cheap margaritas, you talk about the neon margarita glass. Este verde neon, this green neon. You know what I mean? So like you'll skip a word because if you do a literal translation, it sometimes just doesn't work. So you try to grab as much as you can of the word. Um, but sometimes it just doesn't work to say the whole word, and a literal translation just doesn't work. So you have to kind of find your way to eloquently explain it in the other language.
I love it. I love it. I think that is so cool. And it's like a cool way to use a whole nother and to reinvent the song in a completely different manner. That is
Yeah.
like it's the same highway, but they're just kind of like two different exits, I guess, you know.
It is. It is. It's been a fascinating process and, one that I don't really get tired of. I love songwriting and just, because songwriting is kind of like alchemy. Like you start off with nothing. You start off with some ideas and then you're either working on your own writing a song or collaborating with other writers. And all of a sudden, like you have something tangible that you can record that didn't exist moments ago. So I find the songwriting process incredible. I also love performing and connecting. So I love my job. I love what I do.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, and kind of going back to how you said, kind of connecting with more people, and I think that's the beauty of music, regardless of the language. The beauty of music is the emotion that's felt in the music anyway, regardless of what the language is. But then to be able to take that and tell the story. To a wider audience, I guess it's yeah, that's all. I'm definitely envious, I guess is the word of bilingual and people who speak more than one language, and that's a skill I wish I had for sure.
Well, it's definitely useful. I could say that I've gotten a lot of opportunities because of the ability to speak Spanish or English or translate certain things for people. It's led to many jobs in my life. My little daughter right now, 7-year-old, is trying to learn Spanish on Duolingo, so I encourage that.
Yeah, Duolingo. So I actually used that. I went to Italy a couple years ago, and I post COVID, when we were finally able to move, I went far. But
Yeah.
I used Duolingo for a year to beforehand to learn a little bit, and it really for an app it packs a punch. It's a good program.
It is, yes. No, absolutely. My husband's on it too. He's trying to learn as much Spanish as possible, and he understands things. Like when I speak to other people in Spanish, he's starting to really understand now,
Nice.
which is cool. But like there are many different ways to learn. There are classes, like even community colleges as well. You can kind of audit classes even if you don't want to get graded, So there's all sorts of little tricks, and it's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, awesome. So you mentioned your husband. So I to kind of translate in transition. You have been involved in the celebration of the Opry's 100th year, I guess the couple of different special performances, and including the upcoming June 18th honors tribute show, which
Yeah.
I believe, talking about him, I believe you're doing that together. And you did a one together recently as well. You kind of tell us about like that experience, being part of those celebrations and getting to share that with him and the other collaborators that you've been working with on it.
Absolutely. So it was a Valentine's Day show that we got to do, and our friends, the Warren Treaty, Michael and Tanya Trotter, Tanya, not Tanya. So it's specifically pronounced Tanya Trotter. they suggested for us to perform, as well as John Randall, Jesse Alexander, Lo Cash. It was like a huge lineup of great people, Ricky Skaggs and his wife. And it was awesome because it was a celebration of love and they fed us Italian food backstage. It was like really nice. So it was like a proper Valentine's because we were, dedicating our Valentine's Day to the show. So John Carter and I got to sing his mom and dad's hit, Jackson, Johnny and June. And then we got to, and we're like, shoot, what else do we sing? That's a duet. So we're just like, Grease, you're the one that I want. And so we did get to perform it. And when they aired the special, they aired just like one song per act, and they aired Jackson, which makes sense to me. But that was also a really fun one to do because it was very energetic, and the public did not expect that at all. And we're going back to the Opry 100 celebration to celebrate John and June specifically. So it's a whole show dedicated to their music. So for the Johnny Cash songs, it's the duets again with him and June. It's things she's written on her own. It's also things from the Carter family because she's the daughter of Maybelle Carter, mother Maybelle Carter from the Carter family. So we got Lainey Wilson performing. We've got the Tennessee Four. We got the Warren Treaty again. Just like a wide array of people, and like we're really excited about that. So that's on June the 18th.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, and it's cool seeing, from I guess the outside the circle looking in, that like the events that they're putting together and really kind of celebrating, really the last 100 years, but more specifically, how they're putting that together for artists today and giving them
Yes.
that stage too. That's it's cool to see.
It is. I really love the Opry. Every chance that I get to go is an honor, so it's incredible. And I made my debut with them in 2019, singing my original material. At the time, it was songs from Shine, Broken Roses, and Tough Love Woman, and that was an experience I'll never forget. Again, it's been a few times that I've gotten to perform, and it's been really great.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, so it's June 18th, you said. So do you know, is that going to be aired live, or is that a pre-record, or if they're even airing it, or is that all just in person?
It's going to be live in person, but then they will tape it and probably on Circle Country, just like they aired the last episode and they've been doing lately. It'll probably air eventually on Circle Country for people to see. But it
Nice.
will be a live show like all Opry shows are. And, I can't wait. It's going to be really exciting.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And like I said, that this interview for us will release early June, so it'll be perfect timing to
Perfect.
push
Yeah.
everybody to go check it out. So
To watch the
uh,
Opry show June 18th, everyone.
yes.
Special Opry 100 show dedicated to John and June.
Nice. So you mentioned before volume one. So if I'm not mistaken, full name on it, the Sunshine State Volume One. I think
Yes,
that's what I was
yes.
told. Yep. So we're gonna play cheap margaritas at the end of the interview. We also talk about Last Call a little bit. Which will both be on this upcoming EP. Can you tell us a little bit about that EP as a whole? Will we see both versions of each songs on there, or is that the volume one versus the volume two? What's the EP gonna look like for you? The album.
So, EP volume one is complete. It's already mixed and mastered, so I could tell you exactly what's on it. I think it's like 9 to 10 songs, or I think more. I'd have to look at it, but pretty much just the ones we identified like as singles that would work, because you can't always force everything into a language. Like sometimes it just doesn't work. Like I have songs on there that would have been impossible to translate, honestly. So there are at least three versions of Spanish recordings. One of them was Last Call, one's Cheap Margaritas, and then there's another one. So
Awesome. And I mean, speaking of cheap margarita, I love that song. I'm always a sucker for upright bass. Being an audio
Mhm.
engineer, it's one of my most favorite instruments to like try to mix in because of how deep and rich that sound is. It's like it's
Mhm.
unbeatable by anything else. So it's one of my most favorites. Um, equally hate it though because it's a tough instrument to mic. um,
It's a tough instrument to mic, but it is absolutely beautiful. I agree with you, and it has a very rich and deep sound, and it's so fun to play with upright bass live. As a singer, I love listening to it live as well. So I agree.
yeah, no, it's and then I don't know what that guitar tone is that's going on. It like kind of reminds me almost of like a Bakersfield Dwight Yoakam kind of guitar happening during the choir or the choruses. Again, just a really cool song. I love that it's not like a summer anthem feel. Like it's like I don't like you said earlier, it's flirtatious and I really like
Super flirty, super flirty. So this is not super philosophical, this song. I'm not going to make you think, it's a well constructed song. It's very well done. It's quality, work, but it's not anything that's going to make people sad or upset. It's just really joyful, and it's a celebration, and it's flirty, and it's, a good anthem for the summer coming up.
Yeah, I always the lyrics, the song message, the writing lyrically is always where I drawn to. And the you mentioned the line about the neon green glass, and I it has to be one of my favorite lines I've heard in a long time. I thought there's some very clever, well written, kind of, it isn't exactly what you're saying, but it's there kind of feel. And
I
yeah, no,
credit the writers on that for sure. Erica Ender, Willie Breeding, Jessica Kane, and Frank Ray. Like, and again, I'm just thrilled to be cutting it.
yeah,
When that line specifically about the neon glass, there are all sorts of color, margarita glasses, all sorts of color. So when we did the photo shoot for the cover and for the promo shots, I purchased margarita glasses to make sure that they had like the green rim and the whole thing because I wanted to be like in theme. So this was like a very purposeful photo shoot to go with that whole part of that song.
yeah.
So there was a lot of thought put into that.
Good. I appreciate a good thought. I like when things match and come together, and
Yes.
the I guess the type A part of me likes that when things
Yeah.
are, yeah. No, that's awesome. So you kind of talked a little bit about before we jump into the song itself, that it kind of they brought it to you, and asked you wanted to cut it and all that. You kind of told us a little bit about that moment, but I guess I lost my train of thought. I guess getting into like the song itself, how how you kind of knew, like, being a songwriter yourself and then getting something from somebody else, like that moment of like knowing, like, oh, this is for me, this is what I want to record, like, as
Yeah.
opposed to writing yourself and just writing, just cutting all of your own stuff.
Well, I mean, it's important for me. I've learned a lot through the process of doing this as a profession through the years, ever since my early days of, having my signed deal and all of that. And it's important to let the song dictate things. The song is really important. You have to have a good song. So whether it was something that I wrote or somebody else wrote, and I love writing for the fact that I get to communicate a lot of my own thoughts. So the majority of the record is written by me or co-written by me, but I was always taught to not let the ego get in the way of a good song. So if I can cut a great song and give songwriters an opportunity, I'm more than happy to do that. These are great people, really talented people, and the song deserves to be cut. And it's an honor, really, it is to sing somebody else's work as well. And the interpretation is really important because you can interpret something and change it completely. There are plenty of singers that don't write their songs, but they're incredible interpreters.
Yeah, that's kind of where my brain was going. I talk a lot about how country music in particular, that's not something that I grew up with. Being from New Jersey, that wasn't really a big thing for really until the last like 10, 15 years or so. But the thing that always drew me to it was that lack of ego, I guess, that you would write for somebody else, and that was cool. And the best person to write the song, the best person to sing the song, it didn't matter as long as that song had life. And that's something that always drew me to I guess the whole Nashville feeling of songwriting. Um,
How much of
but
my
yeah.
face can you see? I'm trying to like fix this now. Let me see. I'm sorry. Yes, I was listening, by the way. My ADD is not kicking in. I just want to make sure I'm in frame. Hopefully I wasn't cut off to hear the entire time, but
No,
I'm
I feel that though. I touch the monitor all day long, like moving it back and forth. I don't sit still either, so I get that. But no, you're good. We see you all good on no problem there. But yeah, no, I just thought that was cool. Like the it's such a welcoming community of artists
it
all
is.
bringing their own thing to the table, and that's such a cool thing to be a part of.
It's incredible. The collaboration opportunities in Nashville are incredible, and it really makes it really fun because you get to talk to other people, you get to hear about their lives, you're inspired by what they have to say because everybody, you and I have had completely different life experiences. We all grew up in different places. We were raised by different people. Our environments were different, and I think collectively when people can bring that into a room, it's really exciting.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. All right, so we've been chatting for a while, so I think we should go ahead and play the song for you. Before we do and let you get out of here, why don't you let everybody know where they could find you online and follow along for the new album at the end of the year or at the end of September.
Yes. So, guys, I'm Ana Cristina Cash. You can follow me on Instagram, X, you know, TikTok, anachριστinacash.com, all the things. My handle is the @ Ana Cristina Cash. Except for TikTok, I am Ana Cristina Cash Music.
We know that to the both of us, this 2 for 1's a little more than catching up. We know exactly what it is. It's a salty sort of truth that's always on our lips. It's our little happy hour tradition, with one hell of a hangover. It's the best kind of bad decision that we would never make when we're sober. You know we're like the cheap margaritas we're drinking. We're only gonna wake up saying, what was I thinking? We're drunk on the delicious, bittersweet kind of feeling, the type of thing you say for a night on the weekend. Cheap margaritas, cheap margaritas. That glass is like a neon green light. One taste and it goes straight to my head. You're the reason why the moment feels right, and I'm the reason why you end up in bed. You know we're like the cheap margaritas we're drinking. We're only gonna wake up saying, what was I thinking? We're drunk on the delicious, bittersweet kind of feeling, the type of thing you say for a night on the weekend. Cheap margaritas, cheap margaritas, cheap margaritas.
right, so that was our interview with Ana Cristina Cash and her song "Cheap Margaritas" that we played at the end of the interview there. Yeah, I mean, you said it ahead of time. It's always fun catching up with her and checking in on what she's doing. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, um, what did we say? November 2020, she recently had her daughter, and to hear the stories both on and off camera with her about her the growth of her daughter over the years. And it's as fun as it is to talk about the music and the songs and the stuff like that. It's cool to do these circle backs to really like see them grow too, like as humans. And yeah, I don't know, I love doing these things. We definitely need to do more of them.
No, I'm with you. And I was able to catch her. We talked about it in the episode, the Opry 100, and her rendition of "Hurt," which was really good too. So I advise anybody that to go check that one out too, YouTube or whatever. But that was really cool.
Yeah, and obviously you've already heard the interview, but it's been a few months since we did talk to her, and that Opry 100 celebration was back in June, I believe it was. So it's been a few months since then. But yeah, I mean, besides the fact that we talked to her, a few months ago, she's also had a lot going on since then. So yeah, it's always great catching up with Ana.
Yeah, we definitely want to thank Ana Cristina Cash for coming on Outside the Circle. Make sure you go and follow her on all of her social media, music listening platforms. Since our interview was back in the spring, she has since released a new single, which we'll leave you with today. This is Ana Cristina Cash with "Florida Girl."
When I was a girl, I used to play in the orange groves. My feet in the dirt, no cares in this world, that's how I rolled. And when things were rough, little Annie got tough. Wish I could give her a hug, tell her that she was enough. About 17, lost sight of me, and I questioned everything, but it's all okay, 'cause I'm still that Florida girl. I've made mistakes, but I'm not ashamed. I look forward to brighter days. No one can change my sunshine state. I'm still that Florida girl. Grandma, where are you? I wish I could hear your voice again. I saved 25 cents, other ice cream trucks in heaven. 'Cause when I hear that chime, I'd run outside every time. Pretty soon I'd come to find it was all in my mind. When no one's there to hold your hand, look within for a plan, but you find yourself in the end. 'Cause I'm still that Florida girl. I've made mistakes, but I'm not ashamed. I look forward to brighter days. No one can change my sunshine state. I'm still that Florida girl. Robin's kisses, sunny days, cool breezes, ocean sprays. I was